Name's Dr. Mark Prince. I look like, from what I see in the camera, I look like I'm about to do a robbery or something. But I like that variation of stuff. You know, you can't judge a book by the cover and all of that, because that's the last thing I'd do. But just noting that as I look at the camera, people's perceptions of things. So Dr. Mark Prince coming with some thoughts of my own. I'm the founder and director of the Kiyan Prince Foundation, KIYAN.org, if you want to check it out yourself. And I've been quite disturbed. I've been disturbed for a long time, since 2006, probably before that, because I was working in the field of youth work with councils, Islington Council, Hackney Council, worked in what was called a special gangs team, and worked as a support teacher and done all this different kind of work within the system to help youths. But when my wonderful son, Kiyan Prince, got stabbed outside his school, and it sort of posed a huge threat to ruin my life. That's my biggest opponent. I come from a professional boxing background where I use the word opponent. And to be quite honest, fighting was easy compared to the pain that I felt from my son being ripped out of my life. It felt like someone ripping my heart out. Really, like I'm not just using that as some words. It really feels like someone's ripping your heart out every day. You don't realize the level of water that you got in your body that comes out of you on a daily basis, just crying through your eyes, tears. So anyway, so I've been disturbed for a long time. That's why from boxing, as a professional fighter, I went into giving back to my community, doing voluntary work in 2001, getting trained as a youth worker to give back to these youths, because I realized they need role models. They need people that have seen it, done it, worn the t-shirt. And I've been on the roads, I've been homeless, I've done all of that. I've been into crime, I've been into drugs, I've been into all of that. So I understand the youth, I understand the roads. So I thought, you know what, this is what I want to do. At first it was about making money and this and that. And then I realized life ain't about fame and making money. It's wonderful to have it. But you can lose sight of people and the people in your community because you're so much into gaining for yourself. And so this was an opportunity after boxing that I had, and I felt that let me invest time in my community and young people because I had a passion for youths. So I'm doing this work, and one of the things I realized is that there's so much restrictions within the system of really being able to openly care for the young people and show them love. And it's not in the sense of love that people would immediately think about. Love, it's just time. I'm giving your time. That's showing someone love. I was treating these youths how I was treating Kiyan and Tanisa and Jodeci and Malik and Kishon and Micaiah. I was treating these kids like I treated my own children, ensuring that they knew the dangers that they were about to face in life, ensuring that they were doing the right things that was going to keep them safe and trying to develop their potential so they could be great and put belief into these young people. And this is why I came into youth work, was to do this and to inspire young people and use my own life to share with them so they could see that, look, if this guy could do it from the streets, homeless, then we could do it. This is my whole mindset when I began in the system. And then I realized as I was working with them that it's a bit tick boxy. Where's the real care for these youths? And and I would do it differently if I was doing it. And in 2006, when my son got stabbed, he was playing top striker for Queen's Park Rangers, a wonderful boy, and listened to myself and his mum, and his family loved him, and the neighbourhood community, and he was killed out in his school. That was massive. That was massive in the media, like a youth like that being stabbed and killed. But since then, it's just got worse and worse and worse and spiraled out of control. And it's concerning that first, the government aren't really alarmed and concerned that it's a real problem. I was reading in the Evening Standard the other day saying, oh, it's just a few minority people. It's kind of like trying to belittle the problem and what's going on. But I bet if it was MPs and politicians and the royal family and people, dignitaries that you deem as important were being stabbed at this rate, you would not belittle it as a few minority people causing problems. So I looked at it and I thought, no, this is serious, because now I'm thrown into the justice system, I'm thrown into the whole understanding the media system and how they work, and it's come over to me like a circus, you know. Other killings that happened after that, it was just the same old thing. People asking me the same old questions. I'm giving solution. What's the solution? I'm giving it. Nothing's going down. So I got disenfranchised with the whole thing. Like, it's like, this is a joke. I really got a great understanding of how this works. And when they would ask me, so what's the problem? And I'd say the media is a part of the problem and not a part of the solution. And you can be a part of the solution, media, because you have such power to send over the right messages, and the media doesn't. I think every system that is in place could play a great part in changing what's going on. So let's look at the social services. That's a system that I think fails miserably. And we could say, yeah, they do a great job, but if you really go and talk to people within the system, and if you really see young people and what's going on within the system, there's only one thing you can really come to a conclusion of, is that social services is failing the people. They're not taking care of children the way they should be. There's so much systematic child abuse within the system. How can you take a child from his home and say you're going to put him in a safer place, and then he's abused in that place that he's supposed to be safer in? And this happens time and time again with social services. Time and time again, families, more and more people are seeing it on WhatsApp videos. And recently we saw one of about 10 feds, 10 police in somebody's house, taking a 10-year-old boy. Was there anyone from social services there? Not one person from social services there, but the police came to take one young African boy out of his home, screaming, shouting, he wants to be with his parents at home. And because there's this order that he's supposed to be with social services, isn't this trauma that it's going to take counselling to get over the trauma of ripping this boy out of his house? Why couldn't social services come, meet him where he is if they cared about him, and try to find a different solution instead of putting him through so much trauma? This was highly disturbing for me to watch. And I left being so hurt. And then to make it worse, it kicked off with the police and the dad and the mum, who were just filming, and the police didn't want them to, and it just got nasty. And these are the things that we're seeing. So thank God, on one hand, as bad as it's getting with all this camera filming for everything, on the other hand, there's a good side to it where we get to see things that we probably wouldn't see, a lot of injustice that's going on. So not just based on that story, social services is failing us. You go and do your own homework, do your own investigation on the cases with social services and find out how much they are failing us and how people really feel about social services. And there's so many areas. The police service, institutionalized racist. Racism is just rife in the police. And I'm not saying to you every policeman is racist. I did not say that. What I said is institutionalized racism is in there. So what's happening is we're talking about the people that's running that from their top down. Okay, so we got whistleblowers in the police force that is talking about what is going on within the police force. They have made reports about what's going on, things that they've seen. They've been told to be quiet. They've been told that they're going to lose their home. They've been threatened. Loads of stuff's going on. We've seen it on WhatsApp, police strangling and killing a man, try to swallow evidence. Okay, even if you're trying to swallow it, the evidence is only inside you. Okay, you want to swallow it, bruv. Put yourself through all of this stress. We're only going to make you take it out the other end. How many hours later? Do I need to manhandle you, strong hand you, to put you down on the ground, finish you, strangle you and kill you on the ground? All of that's unnecessary. And what it is, it's not fair the way that people are being treated. Ethnic minorities are being treated differently than people. Let somebody from an affluent area call the police on an issue and see how that's dealt with in compared to how you deal with Joe Bloggs in Tottenham, in Hackney, in all the ends, down East Side and everywhere, South, East, Brixton, whatever you call it, where there's ethnic minorities, there's a different treatment. So the system is failing, and you could go through all different areas and the system's failing. So couple minutes, let me bust some solutions. If you really want to make some changes about this knife crime situation and you really want to make a difference, the first thing you have to do is forget the money issue. When I say forget the money issue, I mean the system we currently have focuses on revenue, creating posts, creating job titles, which creates revenue. Okay, so it's not trying to get rid of crime. It's not trying to get rid of the problem. It's trying to keep things rolling so it brings revenue. My solution now will actually eradicate and prevent crime, because what you're doing, you're allowing parents to be parents and not restricting them from disciplining and making sure that their kids are in at a certain time, there's certain control. You're ensuring that things are done in the correct way where you're allowing the people to be people. So all I'm saying is this: if we're going to build institutions to help young people, let's really help them. If they've got a problem at home, then everybody should come together as one unit. So there's different organizations helping. So what happens, you don't know what's going on with the drugs guy, you don't know what's going on with the homeless area, you don't know what's going on with the psychology area. So everybody's dealing with this youth differently. Instead of everyone coming together, putting together a package to ensure this young person is well taken care of, and he goes through the process of building up his self-esteem, getting rid of all this negativeness, this anger in him, or whatever the problems are. So this can be dealt with. And this is some of the things that KPF want to do, but the struggle is getting the revenue to do it. And I'm saying, let us, the community, create the revenue. Let's not be sheep and be controlled by the system. Let's take charge now and say, this is what we're going to do to control the situation.